Right, my name is Ralph Johnson, I'm from Feline Soft, and today I'm going to be talking about member experience and how we improve it. This is hopefully going to be led through digital transformation, although it's a huge amount to do with the culture as well. We've broken our presentation down into 4 sections: the challenge, the situation on the ground, the solution, and then how to make the changes within your organisation. Without further ado, let's look at the challenge that we've got. So, how often do we hear, how do I get my job done? If you're thinking about how you get your job done, you're not thinking about how you improve the member experience. Typical things that we hear are, I just work in Excel constantly. My data's never correct. I'm always fighting against it. And I just see the member from my perspective only. It's just my silo. So why does that happen? What's the configuration of the organisation and the budgetary commitments that are happening that are enforcing this silo view? Let's take a look at the organisation first. So, you've got the boss at the top. Then, typically, and this is a bit abstract, so bear with me, I know it's unique and subtle in each different organisation. You've got events, finance, membership, publications, and education. Now, there's good reasons for them to be split into those individual silos. The core reasons is because you can get specialists in finance, membership, and events. Yeah? And you want to still be able to leverage those within your organisation. I'm not suggesting you radically repeat. We're just going to make some subtle suggestions as we go. But let's have a look at how those conversations can form if you're in a silo construct. They're a bit exaggerated, so please bear with me, but they help me make the point. I'm in events. Please come to this event. No, this event isn't suited to me. Why did you send me this event? Okay then, please provide me all your details. Hang on a minute, don't you know who I am? Finance. Can you pay us this, please? Yes, okay, I'll pay you that. Repeat the same question next week. Wouldn't it be better if you were able to actually see what was being marketed and see what was coming? So you understand if you're going to ask for this money on a Tuesday and then this money on a Thursday, you could be able to roll it up and just ask them for one payment at the end of the month. Then we take a look at membership. Really, really good at defining the value proposition that you're presenting to your members and explaining to people why they should come on board. People go, okay, yeah, brilliant, I'll sign up. Then you go, thanks very much, if you could just talk to these other people now. Now, those other people are typically events, finance, and education, but it's like a handoff. What you want it to be is a continuous conversation about where the value is and what they see as bringing the help from the organisation that they're a part of. Publications runs the big risk of being just a one-way conversation. Here's content, here's content, here's content. What you want is a two-way conversation. Accessibility these days isn't just about, does my website comply with AA? Our view of accessibility is the content that your members and your users want available anywhere, anytime to consume in the way that I want as a user? That's key. Then we get to education. This will help you. I don't think it will. I was asked 2 years ago, I want the advanced stuff, not the beginner stuff. Or, yes, that's perfect for me. What do I do next? You don't know where I am. Yeah? Membership and education need to have a joined up view of the world so that you're able to see where they are in their membership funnel, to push the right bit of educational material or the right bit of CPD to enable that advancement. So what you get from this siloed effect is disjointed conversations between you and your community and your members. So what's the situation on the ground? How does it look from the member's perspective? We're going to take a look at something now which is direct from the user experience playbook, and it's a service Feline Soft have been offering across a large number of companies, which is focused on things like information architecture, user experience, and it uses something called an experience map. Yeah? Again, it's generic. We've kind of done it for the membership sector, but it's the same for the NFP. Gosh, it's even the same for really big charities like Age UK and people like that. So, discover, research, onboarding, engagement, advance, and give back are typical phases with which a member goes through. The discover these days can happen at almost any time in the life cycle of a person. So sometimes it happens when you're a student, or possibly even at school, if you're feeding the educational agenda. But these days it can happen when someone's 40 years old and says, actually, I'm just going to change career right now. They're going to discover it through social media, through chatting to friends, Once they're kind of interested, they're going to move to the research phase. And this is where accessibility starts to kick in. These days, it does happen. Sometimes they pick a magazine up, perhaps whilst they're at the doctor's or something like that. Or maybe they're in another industry-specific event where they put up a magazine up. Most of the time, it's Google, let's face it. Yeah? So your content needs to be accessible online, on the web, it needs to be in apps, it needs to be consumable at any point. That generates the hook, which the membership team can see the relationship starting to happen. They need to be able to see it. If you can't see it happening, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. Once membership are in, they can do their thing, they can bring people in and get them registered. And that's your first transaction. Boy, do you want that to be easy these days. Yeah? If your membership and your onboarding process is more complex than 2 or 3 clicks, there's work to be done. So once membership have got them onboarded and they're a part of your community, you move to the engagement. This is where the siloing starts to do its real damage. Yeah? So let's take a quick look at the thinking and the feeling here. Inside of engagement, what's the latest industry thinking? Where can I get help with this technical issue? How can I continue to learn more? But what are they feeling when they're starting to ask those kind of questions? I learned a lot from that event. That person really knew their stuff. They're really good signs that they're in a good place, they're ready to progress to advance. If people are feeling differently and they're really unclear, where do I get the value? Why do I keep after telling them who I am? They're classic kind of thoughts as to, actually, I'm not sure that this is giving me value, and I might back off and leave. So what we want to be able to do is break down those silos so that you're able to engage with all of the information that you've got. And that enables both membership, events, education, and publications to work as a unified force moving forward to take people to advance. Yeah, there's a lot of sort of the selfish gene idea inside of user experience. What's in it for me? Why would I bother? Yeah, if you're showing them great value with improvement in their career, increasing their wages, even prestige advancement, then you're going to get them to move into that advanced level. Yeah, again, you need all of your team to be working with a joined up message at this point, because really what you want them to do is progress to thought leaders within that community. That then creates the feedback loop, so they're helping other people advance and moving those through the funnel as well. Okay, so we've looked at the experience and what happens from the outside world, from the member. So what happens when you talk to your silos and you say, how do we get there? If I'm inside of a silo, I tend to give an answer which is emanating from the silo. Now, one of my favourite non-quotes is this. If I asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. If you want to know why that's a non-quote, download my presentation. There's a hyperlink that explains why. In essence, if I'm inside of a silo, I'm going to ask you for a better tool to do the job in my silo. I'm not going to ask you for a tool that changes things, that makes things different. Yeah? So let's look at how budgeting starts to reinforce that problem. Sorry about the gobbledygook, finance people recognize it, but CapEx versus OpEx. CapEx leads to large, big project implementations where you want to sweat the asset as you wind down the capital expenditure. Yeah? That creates odd project structures and starts to really push against continuous member experience improvement. OpEx looks at lots of small, little spend. Yeah? What that creates is this. Start of a project, the experience nosedives. Everybody comes over here and says, right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on this really big project and not worry about membership experience because I've been told I've got to do this. So the experience nosedives. If you're lucky, your large project succeeds and goes live. Yeah? Then, if you're really lucky, it starts to push it back up and you start to get a curve. The challenge is, though, you spend all your money and you haven't got any more money until the CapEx starts to unwind and you've taken it all away. So what happens is the experience nosedives because your processes and your software is all locked in. Yeah? The ability to change it, the desire might be there, but the money and the time is not. So over the lifetime of the software, it degrades until you're worse than you were in the first place because the organization's gone that way, and your processes haven't gone anywhere, before finally someone says, oh, we need to rebuild it all again. And you start the whole process all over again. It's kind of Groundhog Day on a grand scale. So, what is the solution? The solution is continuous experience improvement through continuous digital transformation. Now, what does that look like when we lay that out on a graph? The experience, I'm really sorry, it's always going to nosedive when we start a big change. Yeah? The difference is that we don't stop. Because we've agreed regular, constant movement, we go in these waves all the way up. Yeah? We don't nosedive because we haven't taken our eyes off the ball. We've put it into the DNA of the organisation that we're going to be continuously improving the experience of our members. So one of the questions that we get asked quite a bit is, what about best practice, industry convention? Doesn't that just sound like we're all just building everything anew? Well, the answer is no. You can have your cake and eat it. Frameworks, not packages. Frameworks are the equivalent of a Lego box in software. So if you say, oh, I need some membership, we take a membership Lego block and we drop it in. Oh, actually, I need a little bit of fundraising. I'll grab that little block and I'll put that in as well. You know, oh, actually, I need a subscription model. I need some e-commerce. We'll grab that block and we'll put it in. There are base things that you do that are common, but you are unique because you are unique in the value you provide to your members. And if you are not unique in that way, well, the writing's on the wall. Yeah? So, how do we make the change? What do you need to be doing in your organisation to set yourself up for continuous improvement? 1, agree a regular spend. Break yourself out of the CapEx model. There are budgetary tricks that you can do to make it look like CapEx, but that's a whole different presentation in itself. Yeah? Assign a product owner that owns the member experience. It's organisation-wide, and that is absolutely key. It can't be an individual that sits inside of one of the silos because they will give you the biased silo answer. It needs to be a person that sits outside of all of those departments and joins the dots between all of them. That's how you leverage the good benefit of the specialisation inside of your events, inside of finance, and you get somebody who's looking at it and holding the conversation across the board. Create regular feedback loops to monitor the effects of the changes. And commit to continuous rolling out of improvements to your members, to the facing touch points and the services that you provide to them. So, underpinning all of this is continuous improvement backed up by the developer operations model. This starts by mapping the processes at the point of the actual state. Not what you'd like to do, but how you're going to do it. Yeah, how are you doing it now? You then look to optimize that process. This is all in conjunction with what you are doing. Yeah, this is between your service provider and everybody internally with a product owner holding court. You then look to design with everybody the improvements to the application that you've got. Look small, think small. Yeah, what are the quick wins? What are the prototypes which you're testing? We then build those. And what's most important is we're not testing these in Timbuktu. You're coming back into the office and testing them with actual people who are going to use it at the sharp end of the stick. Yeah, they're the people that count when it comes to the internal stuff. You're going to be testing it in conjunction with your members because they're going to tell you the truth, not something in abstract. The people who are actually going to use it. And all the time we're tracking that with the metrics that we've set up to measure how our experiments are performing. So we're creating a continuous feedback loop that's driving us towards continuous improvement. If something doesn't work, we can drop it. If it's working brilliantly, we can put more effort into it. So how do we hold all of this together? We need a vision. Yeah, this comes straight from the Agile playbook. I'm not going to dwell on it now, but suffice to say, you need a vision that holds everybody's thinking together across all of those silos. What are the influencing factors? You need to be thinking about your strategy, yeah? Define your organisation strategy. This is coming right from the top, yeah? This is dictating the direction which your processes and your software and your application should be going. You need vision and leadership. This is what the product vision is going to do. It drives everybody to give you a vision. Look at your life cycle, yeah? Are you cyclic in terms of your membership application? If so, why? Yeah? What's the driver behind that? Is it operational or member need? Do you have user feedback? Are you using things like user voice? Are you using micro surveys? Or are you just doing one thing every couple of years? Yeah? Use analytics, yeah? Not just on your website, but look at things like your Net Promoter Score, other KPIs, including in your internal software as well. They're really important. Product, sorry, there are a couple of plugs in here. Set up a develop team. By the way, that's Feline Soft. That's us. Define the value prop for your members. Yeah? Where is the value? What are they getting from you that really makes a difference? Because if you enhance and push that, they'll keep coming back. Finally, agree the regular spend. This is all held together by the product owner. You must assign in your organisation a product owner to manage the experience. This isn't a job which is done for 5 minutes each week. This is preferably a full-time job. That's the attitudinal change that you get. It goes from being once every 5 years to, no, this is just what I do every day of every week. They're going to take inputs from the stakeholders, we'll come to those in a moment, but most also importantly, from the team that are actually building it. Yeah? Don't build requirements that cost a fortune to build. Take feedback and say, well, actually, we'll do this one really quickly. Why don't you give it a go? If it has impact, we'll save you several £1,000s. Also, the external factors. What's influencing your organisation? The market? Is there regulation that influences you as well? So, we say we look at the stakeholders. Every one of those silos needs to be feeding into the product owner on a regular basis. There should be a regular meeting where you converse with the product owner and feedback. You need to be agreeing beforehand what the reporting mechanism is so that those regular meetings are highly productive. The output of that regular meeting is what we call the roadmap. The roadmap is held together with the business strategy defining the goals for each quarter. Yeah? So we're then underpinning whether or not we're achieving those goals with the metrics that we're using to measure the advancement of those goals. In the middle are the features and the process changes that we are making in order to be able to advance those metrics. And it's a direct feedback loop. Yeah? So what you've got here is you've got the product owner, you've got all of the inputs coming into the product owner from across the organisation and your membership, and then you've got your developer operations team feeding in about how complex it is to build. In other words, how long it's going to take. Is there an off-the-shelf Lego block that we can deploy for you? Is there a third-party product that we should be integrating into? Yeah, those are the things which need to be aligned in order to make sure that you get the best value to achieve those goals and deliver those metrics. I said there wouldn't be too much plugging. There's one massive plug at the end. We are Feline Soft. These are the type of people that we work with. Please come and join us, hopefully be in good company. Today we're focusing on NFP and charity and membership, but the experience and the techniques that we're talking about come from across many, many industries. What we've done is specialise and optimise the deliveries that we have for NFP and for the membership sector. Thank you very much. I was Ralph Johnson. We are Feline Soft.